president went to China with hat in hand to angle for much-needed investments to prop up the country's rebounding economy. And he comes home with bulging pockets of trade and business deals in the amount of tens of billions that our Karen Villanda once again dwells on in this report.
In almost 1.5 days of meetings, President Ferdinand R. Jr. described his state visit to China as successful. The president got more than $22 billion worth of pledges for investment and 14 bilateral agreements.
I think altogether it is a very full 1.5 days, but it is a very productive 1.5 days. And I think everything that we intended to do, we were able to do.
In fact, until this morning before he returned to the Philippines, the president attended a meeting with the agribusiness in China to discuss new investments in the country regarding nickel processing, battery and electronic vehicle production.
Yung mga investment opportunities na ipinakita natin sa mga potential Chinese investors, present and potential, kasi yung iba dun merong presence na sa Pilipinas. Ang sinasabi natin sa kanila ay palakihin na ng involvement nila.
The president also announced last night that part of their bilateral agreements with President Xi Jinping is to address the trade deficit gap between the two countries. According to DFA data, the deficit of the Philippines reaches over $15 billion when it comes to bilateral trade. The Philippines imports bigger products from China but not as much as its exports.
We covered so many subjects, much more than is usual for these very formal meetings. We talked about the trade imbalance between our country and China and what we can do to remedy this. In fact, there has been created what we are now calling the Durian Protocol, because they are opening their trade to imports of durian and other agricultural products from the Philippines, so that we can redress the imbalance in our imports and exports from China.
This is in addition to 13 agreements assigned relating to agriculture, infrastructure, development cooperation, maritime security, and tourism. The president confirmed that his next trip overseas is to Switzerland before the end of January. In February, he also is scheduled to go to Japan after accepting the invitation of Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida.
The agenda will be will be a continued discussion of what we started in New York, which essentially centers around economic security. Because with the Japanese have many concerns about regional security, and we are seen, of course, the Philippines is seen as an important part of maintaining that security in partnership with friends and partners like Japan.
Karen Villanda for The Nation.